Hi, this is Lucy McCall of Ala Mesa Miracles, As Above, So Below. And this is the weekly astrology report as well as an herbal report. And it's between August 9th and the 16th, 2024. And I'd like to say that if you're listening to this any kind of way, you might please subscribe and like and that kind of thing. I know we all forget to do that when we're listening to other people's things, but it really does help us all, whoever's of us is doing this kind of thing. YouTube, it helps for that to happen. And also I'm forever doing readings and have herbal medicine if you need it. So my phone number 575-613-3502. And I would also like to just tell you, mainly the main thing right now is that, it's just something that people talk about a lot around August 8th, which today is the 9th, but there's all this stuff, it's the Lionsgate. I never started really hearing about the Lionsgate till about 10 years ago, and it was on August 8th, 2018 that they first made a thing about it, or maybe it was 2008, but it was back then. And it was a big deal. And then I thought, well, what I related it to was Lunasa, because it's the midpoint, and people often in astrology traditions call the 4 points in between the equinoxes and the solstices. They call it the initiation points, while in earth-based religion it might be called cross quarter. But this one is the sun is at 15 degrees around August 8th. That is absolutely true. It happens. So we already have that Lunasa point, which is more of a Celtic but also earth-based religion thing. And but it turns out, and I didn't really know this because Sirius is not one of the nakshatras or moon mansions that I traditionally talk about. Either in Western or Eastern, it's not part of that circle beyond the circle of the constellations. But it is a very important star to our whole civilization on this planet. A lot of people say different people say we come from Sirius, and it's a double star, so it's a big bright star. And they also, I believe there was a ceremony in Egypt back in the day, because whenever Sirius conjuncted the sun, something to do with the Nile, I don't know if the water increased or something around the river Nile, and there was a celebration on the Nile. And I remember hearing about that a long time ago. And then this Lionsgate idea, I think, mainly comes probably from the work of Alice Bailey, where she would talk about the initiation points. And Leo is one of the initiation points. So just to let you know what that is. And I'm sitting here going, well, do I feel more psychic or whatever? Oh, these days come and go, and sometimes I get the big vision, sometimes I don't, But hopefully you'll get something good out of it. The aspects are good for it. For one thing, the sun is trining Chiron right now. And, that's kind of loose because Chiron's at 23 degrees. But that's kind of a good thing because the sun trine Chiron often brings a lot of awareness about healing, self-healing, and hopefully some new intervention about healing, some new either scientific or natural, digging up some old natural ideas that work. All kinds of things could happen around the healing process, as well as the teaching and receiving teaching and healing. So that's all very, very good. Now, I would also mainly like to talk about how we are having this coming week a Mars conjunct Jupiter. Let's see what day that's going to be, on Wednesday. And at the same time, within a couple of days, we have a Mars square Saturn, and the next week we have the Mars square Jupiter. So we're right in this Mars Jupiter conjunction square Saturn. Now, a lot of people are saying, isn't it crazy? Astrologers are saying that is how we have had these what Okay, well, one anyway. The Republican convention was an intense alignment, and everyone was talking about it. I think it was Mars Uranus, and everyone was talking about watch out for that. And then what's his name got shot, but and now we have it during the Democratic convention. Next week we have another major Martian aspect, and then actually we have on voting day we have major aspects, and it just makes me wonder what everyone's up to, you know. So just to be aware of these aspects could be intense, but also for you, all of us personally. When you have a Mars conjunct Jupiter, you have heated discussion about God. You have philosophical energy, a lot about just what beliefs are. And sometimes Mars can get rather adamant about being its own, this is the only way kind of attitude, which I think is just really dysfunctional on planet Earth because there are so many people here celebrating religion, God, in all kinds of ways. So why go there? But it is what people might even use as an excuse to get mad, even when they really are just mad about they want land or they want oil or something. So anyway, um, we are dealing with that Mars, Saturn, Jupiter energy this week, and so just be aware in your own lives also to just be careful. It can be very argumentative and it can even be violent. So we have to be very aware not to do dumb things that could hurt yourself and others. In a way that you may never recover this life, kind of thing. It's just, well, it's like when those things happen, we have to watch out not to fall into the little vortex of negativity. So be aware of that. And, it might, even though there is a real desire and almost a need to engage with debate. Now, if it could just stay debate, that's one thing where everyone's just like, well, this is my opinion and that's my opinion. But when you get into the come to blows, we don't need it. Nobody needs it. So it doesn't really help. So while debating can enlighten people, so it's like taking it different ways. And also there's a lot of energy around it. So I am going to just continue my ongoing elderhood cleaning of the house thing that I'm going through, which you have to do it at some point just every once in a while you have to have a big cleanse. So I'm still doing all that. That's how I'm spending my energy this week. And if I get around to going out dancing, I might do that. But that's another good way, is just physically being active and productive with your energy. So now the other thing I want to talk about is Mercury going into Leo. Mercury's been in Cancer. It's retrograde. Wait, it is retrograde. No, it's been in Virgo. I'm sorry. Mercury had gone into Virgo and now it's retrograding back into Leo. It's going from a very mentally astute, conscious Mercury energy back to the Leo, which is more theatrical and wanting to express itself and just be big with words. So that's Mercury in Leo, and that's going to be there for a little bit as it retrogrades. Then it'll go back in Virgo later. And so we're going to be dealing with Mercury in Virgo a long time, which is very good for just defining and editing and just refining your words and making everything more clear, a lot clearer with your expression. So it's a good thing. And we also have this week a Mercury in conjunct Neptune, and that is just about the same time as the Mars conjunct Jupiter. So what that does is that can create kind of a lack of clarity about things, like really adjusting, trying to figure out what the truth is. What is the truth? Where's the illusion? And of course, we can often see that kind of behavior in the news, in the politics of our country. So probably there's going to be some kind of confusion about what people are meaning or saying or what's going on, but there's already some candidates that are that way anyhow, so yeah, it's the big question is, what is the real truth? So there we have it, and I will next talk about lemon balm coming up. Okay, here we go. Here is lemon balm, also called Melissa. She's one of the mints. She has a square stem. She is very mint-like. If you know what mints look like, she looks like one. She has a lemon flavor. And Melissa, or lemon balm, just talk about a story. This one has a lot of story to it. She is, I call her a she. Culpeper would say mercurial. I also say kind of Mercury with a little bit of Venus in there. Though Mercury, she does help the digestion. She calms the vagus nerve, which is mercurial, so that's right. But also very Venusian in a way, and used for a long time to clean out the uterus, and very nicely just to help clean out that uterus. You know, you can do it after your moon time to make sure everything is just totally together there. And she is, she's not an abortifacient as I have ever seen or known. That's not what she does, but she does just kind of keep everything clean. She was used by the ancient alchemists, and possibly still today, as the first philosopher's stone to make. And a philosopher's stone, or the alchemical stone, depending on if you're reading Harry Potter or if you're listening to ancient text, is always made by a long time burning into ash, and then eventually it turns out into this little white ball. These little white balls that you compact the ash. And this was, it looks a lot like homeopathy, and kind of reminds me of homeopathy, but homeopathy is like a reduction going down, down, down to the last molecular structure. And then while the alchemy is more like cooking it all down into an ash, you know, it's different. And yet it's used real similar because they're both kind of address the spiritual, emotional aspect of illness. But this was always the first one any alchemist would work with. And back then, where now you could walk away from your flame or whatever because something else would keep it burning. You know, back in the day, the alchemist would sleep by their process, you know, to make sure they got that going all the time, because there was a rule to alchemy: you could not stop the flame. So lemon balm was used that way, and you know, it's also called Melissa, which is another name for bees, and another name for bees. And the bees definitely love it, though you can't see them here today, but it's not very sunny. They don't like to come out when it's shady, the bees. But it's also just a very, very calming plant. It's one of the ones, like I said, vagus nerves, and just if you're just feeling a little edgy and, you know, like that, you just take some lemon balm and it can really help you. So that's mainly what I know about lemon balm. So there you have it. And also today and every Friday at 4 p.m., there is the astrology report on KNCE 93.5 FM, Taos, New Mexico.